I have a cousin that likes to model for me sometimes, and she's going to help me with this one. It's sprinkles. I'm putting sprinkles all over her.
Like cupcake sprinkles?
Yep.
So you're going to dump sprinkles where? All over your house?
No, like attach them to her face.
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't.
Will you post that on the Big Photo Hunt?
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Welcome to the Big Photo Hunt podcast, a show where we talk with aspiring and professional photographers to help us all grow and improve our photography together. I'm your host, Ken Deckinger. If you're one of our community members and you'd like to be a guest on the show, please visit bigphotohunt.com for more information.
Wow, I need to welcome you back to this podcast, not because you have gone anywhere, but because I went somewhere. I took an unplanned hiatus and things just got busy. I launched a new YouTube channel, which has been a lot of fun, and that has taken up a lot of time. We've launched tons of new features on the Big Photo Hunt, which has taken up even more time. One thing led to another, and then next thing you know, months went by before dropping an episode here. So if you're still here, thank you. I am not only excited to be back, but I'm also excited for today's guest because Mariah Adams from Sacramento, California is not only a photographer with an interesting story, but she's a Big Photo Hunt member. And I really want to get more members on this podcast. That's kind of one of the reasons why I started this, to get to know and connect with amazing members of the Big Photo Hunt. And so I'm just full of happiness today. I'll let Mariah introduce herself as we get going. I hope you're great, and I hope you're able to get some great photography in these days. The weather is turning. It's nice. You get some beautiful golden hour shots and lots more. And let's just do this. Without any further ado, Big Photo Hunt member, Mariah Adams. How's Sacramento?
It's okay. I don't love Sacramento in general, but it's all right. It's fine.
I was there a year ago, but I had a wedding. It wasn't in Sacramento. It was out somewhere in there were a lot of fields, and
yes,
it was cool because it was like a wedding at some kind of mansion out in fields. It was pretty cool though.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I would love to start by telling everyone who you are. Before we do that, I want to brag a little bit for both of us because you've been a part of the Big Photo Hunt since I literally think day one almost, or week one.
Yeah, January 2024.
Like I said, week one.
Yep.
That is very meaningful to me. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I've been building this thing, working hard, and just to have people that stick around is really, really cool. And so it means a lot to me. So I just want you to know that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been great. I love it.
Why don't we start by telling everyone who you are, where you're from, and then your background, and then we get into your whole photography journey from there.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Mariah Adams. I live in Sacramento, California. I'm about 2 hours outside of San Francisco. I have an 8-year-old son that is the light of my life. And I live with my brother and my boyfriend has 2 kids that are basically my own kids. And yeah, we're a happy little family here.
What's the story with your photography? How long have you been into photography and what got you on that journey? And I mentioned that's always super interesting, I think, because we all have different reasons, right? Something just touches us, something either young age, old age, mid age.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For me, my photography started mostly because of my grandmother, because she was a photographer. And until I was about 5, my mom and I lived with my grandparents. So I was constantly in front of her camera. And it was one of my favorite things to do was, let's go take photos with Nana. I loved it so much. And I tried a bunch of other things when I was growing up, but none of it felt right. And then I got a camera and I was just immediately in love. It's this is it. There's nothing else for me. This is what I want to do. Been about 9 years now.
What kind of photography was your grandma into?
She mostly did portraits. She did also enjoy a lot of like nature. She loved flowers, but mostly people.
So 9 years ago, and what was it? Was there something like a light bulb that went on, or one day you're just like, I kind of like this?
I was trying to go to school for makeup, and I needed a better camera to take pictures of what I was doing. So I got a camera, and then I started playing around with it, and it just kind of turned into, I love the camera and playing with this so much more than the makeup. So I dropped the makeup and I just kept going with the camera.
Awesome. And what kind of photos do you like to take? What's your favorite genre?
My favorite genre is street, but it's a close call between street and nature. But I do also love like art stuff in like a studio, or sometimes not in a studio.
Streets of where? Sacramento or any streets?
Any streets. I have a lot of Sacramento I've done basically everything in Sacramento. I go to San Francisco. I also love within like a 2-hour distance. There's a lot of small towns that have some really cool, charming streets and stuff. And because we've got the Sacramento River. So there's a lot of like little Delta towns and stuff. There's so much cute character in there. I love just like finding a cute little town to go walk around and take photos.
Those towns were awesome. So when I was in Sacramento last year, that's where I was. And there were these cool towns all along the river. The thing was, though, that I was only there for like one day, or I flew in for like a weekend, and I was on East Coast time. So I was up at 4 a.m. every day and would go out when the sun came up to go shoot and drive through those towns. But by then it was 6:30 a.m. and there was not one person awake. And so it wasn't good photography, but they were so cool. And I could imagine it like, 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, there's just people and the light is right. And it's just super cool.
Yeah, it's great.
They're almost like Western looking, right? Some of them?
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of historical places along the Delta. There's one in particular is called Locke, Locke. And it was a Chinese settlement for the people that were working the railroad and things like that in the area. There was a large Chinese population. So a lot of them settled in little towns. And those are the towns that kind of kept a lot of the buildings and the historical, all of that.
And I want to talk about nature, but I've also seen these art pieces that you've done of like your sliding glass door and stuff that looks super cool. Talk to me first about the nature.
Nature is the first thing I started with photography. Was let's go out and find some pretty flowers. And eventually it turned into street and everything else, but that's where it started. And it's up there with street as a favorite. Like they're neck and neck for me. I just love to go out. We go find nature preserves in Napa. We've really loved this wilderness area. They don't even call it like a preserve or anything like that. It's just like a wilderness area that they kind of patrol a little bit to make sure people stay safe. There's like bobcats and all kinds of mountain lions and stuff. And so you got to be careful, but I love walking around in nature and connecting with nature, even just outside of camera. But then I get to take photos of everything, and then I get to remember it all and have the gorgeous photos. And it's fantastic.
What are they scared? What are they protecting you from when you're out there? The animals?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of mountain lions and bobcats. There's all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of fun, though.
I don't know if you did this, but I'm the kind of person where if I was being approached by like a mountain lion or bobcat, I would try to get photos of it as it was like attacking me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. My boyfriend always laughs at me because we'll hear something like an animal in the distance, and I'll be like, hey, come out. I want to take your picture.
How's it work for you?
They don't really like to have their picture taken, but I try.
I always do stupid stuff. My wife makes this reference back to when we were in Southeast Asia, like a long time ago. We were in Cambodia at Angkor Wat, which is like the big ruins that were on Earth. And one of the ruins, it looked like a pyramid almost, but it was like these like the side was all steps basically. And At the bottom, there was this little sign that basically shows a person like a stick figure climbing it. And it has a red line through it. And then the next picture next to it is like the stick figure falling backwards. And she's like, where's Ken? And she sees the sign and she looks up and I'm already like 30 yards up the pyramid. She thinks I'm kind of an idiot. She's right, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Actually, and back then I wasn't really into photography. Otherwise, I would have, stopped and like taken selfies or pictures of me up there. But that's a whole other story. All right. And then I want to hear about your art photography. I've seen it and it's gorgeous. What I really like about it is that a lot of it seems like you're able to make use of the location that you're in and stuff that's around you, which is a talent and something I wish I could do more of, because I find that I usually need to travel long distances to get inspired. If I didn't have to do that, I'd probably be more successful of like just creating photos every day. Tell me about that. Like, what are you doing in your house when you are photographing? What are you looking for? And what's your goal with that photography?
For my art photography, a lot of it is I'll find some sort of other photographer's work that I find really inspiring. I don't ever copy someone's stuff, but I will find like little elements here and there in people's stuff. And I'll be like, oh, that would look really cool if I did this other thing over here as well. And I just kind of build from there. I spent a few years at Academy of Art University. That was it pushed me outside of my usual comfort zone. And a lot of it turned into just finding what I have already on hand that I can work with, because there's a new photo assignment every week and you've got 4 of them for 4 different classes. So you can't always be going out and doing some crazy elaborate thing. And you can't always go out and spend a whole ton of money to get this one photo shoot done when you've got 4 every week. So you just kind of learn how to get super creative with what you have and figure things out, how to make things work. Yeah. So being there was a big push for me in that direction, which was great. And I worked a lot with a director of the photography program there. His name is Timothy Archibald. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him, but he's a phenomenal photographer. His work is like in museums and stuff. It's incredible. And he was a big influence on me he just loves photography so much. And he's so fascinated by everyone's work. That was very inspiring to me to be around that and to have someone that I knew they knew what they were talking about when they said, this is a really great photo. And that kind of definitely fueled me to be like, okay, cool. There's people who know what they're doing and they're saying that I'm doing a good job. So let's keep going with this. Let's explore. Let's find what else we can do. Let's push ourselves to new things.
Did the art school help you? I always am curious about this because I'm a self-taught photographer. I went to the school of YouTube and like shitty pictures. And after 17,000 shitty pictures, I got a couple that are good. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting this. How did art school help you improve your photography? And did it help you improve your photography?
Oh, it absolutely did for me. Art school is not for everyone. It was a huge help for me, in particular, because it pushed me to use manual mode instead of auto, and to figure out how manual mode actually works and what each of the settings actually controls and how to balance those things. And because that school in particular, I don't know about any other school, but that school really pushes for get it right in the camera as best as you can. So you have as little editing to do as possible. And that really pushed me into like, here's how to get this in camera and how to make it work. And you keep going until you get it.
Can you talk more about that? Because I know we should be getting more of it right in camera as opposed to leaning on editing. But what was the idea there? What was the reasoning behind them pushing that so hard?
I think for them, it's mostly pushing students to just be the best photographer they can be. And that means learning how to get it right in camera. And if you continue that on your own, that's up to you after school or outside of school. But they wanted to make sure that the students know how to get things right. So they're not just going out blind and relying on the editing.
I agree. And I try to get as much right in camera as I can, especially with composition. But what I found myself doing a lot of times is if I'm composing a photo, I love street photography too, like love it. And what I find myself doing is composing it in camera correctly, but then leaving a little space on the sides and the top so that if I need to crop or correct anything, I can, as opposed to going too tight and then realizing that I screwed something up and not having any wiggle room.
I do sometimes, especially if it's a photo that I'm not exactly 100% sure on, I will leave space so I can crop it if I need to. Or I'm a big fan of the geometry tool where it straightens things out for you. And that will also sometimes crop the photo. So I try to leave a little extra space on those ones. That one's in particular good for like buildings and stuff. So I'll try to leave a little extra space for that on those. But for the most part, I try to get the composition where I want it if I can. If I'm not sure, or if it's something I'm going to have to edit, then I will leave space.
Great for buildings, bad for faces, the geometry tool.
Mm-hmm,
I have a long face as it is. I could, like, if I had to like adjust the geometry tool, I could look like, what are those, Easter Island? You know, the rocks on Easter Island? That's what I think I would look like. So you're done with the art school program. What's next? For example, today, if you were to go out and bring your camera somewhere, or stay in and bring your camera somewhere, what would you shoot?
If I was going to go out today, I would probably go out and do street photos. But I do also have a like studio photo that I've been wanting to do. I have a cousin that likes to model for me sometimes, and she's going to help me with this one. It's sprinkles. I'm putting sprinkles all over her.
Like cupcake sprinkles?
Yep.
So you're going to dump sprinkles where? All over your house?
No, like attach them to her face.
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't.
Will you post that on the Big Photo Hunt?
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
So this is an episode about meeting a member, a Big Photo Hunt member. What has your experience been on the Big Photo Hunt? I just ask because I'm curious, and it gives me an opportunity to understand what you like or don't like, because then I know what I need to improve.
Oh, sure.
What is it that you like about it? What have you gotten out of it?
I think that the Big Photo Hunt it's a lot of fun. It's a great community of people that are supportive and engaging. And there's a lot of great photography on there. And there's a lot of people that listen. I don't just tell people critiques blindly, but if they want feedback, I will give feedback. And I've had a lot of people where I did that and then they listened and they were nice about it and they weren't, oh, well, how dare you tell me this? Like, you're like, okay, cool. I will try that. It's a receptive community to feedback and growth together. And it's, it's a lot of fun.
That's cool to hear, because I try to foster that. And also I try to attract that. It just appeals to that kind of person. And so if you're a jerk, you may just think I'm too goofy and like not want to be a part of it. And that's kind of okay, because that's the whole idea, is that we come together to share our work and we're not jerks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm glad. We're working hard to build it and, grow, and we're growing, but I'm focused on finding and inviting people in that are the right type of photographers, meaning they're amateur photographers, they're hobbyists, and they're friendly and they're just there to improve. And if they're not there to improve, that's fine too, but at least they're able to kind of contribute and be part of the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And while I have you, and this may or may not make it in the podcast, but while I have you, what could I do better? Is there something we could do better?
I have been thinking about that, and I haven't really come up with anything that I can think of that would be better. It's pretty great the way it is.
We're launching 3 new features soon. One of them is AI reporting, so that you'll be able to get an AI report on all of your photos and it'll also compare it and show you where it is in relation to other photos. So the photos that made the top 10 that week, other photos in your genre. So we're going to launch that stuff. Hopefully people like that. And it's all It's all either free or it's like included in the pro membership, just because as we add this stuff, it starts getting expensive.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll figure that part out as we go. So anyone that is in your shoes now, or say 9 years ago, that's getting into photography as an amateur, someone who wants to have fun and get better, what would you say to them? How would you help them get going and get into it?
I would say, one, put your camera on manual mode and leave it there as long as you can. Now, sometimes, especially when you're first starting out, that's not always feasible. Sometimes you need the auto, but as long as you're able to keep it on manual and really learn how each of the different features and the different settings affect the photo, your depth of field and things like that. Learn that. That will help you so much with any type of photography you want to do. But I would also say, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to take bad photos, because that's how you grow. You don't grow if you're constantly just like taking the same little photos over and over again. Try stuff, see what happens, and learn from it. Go out and find something, and maybe it'll be a really cool photo. Maybe it'll be something that goes in the trash, but you tried it and you learned from it.
Hi, it's Ken. I'm sorry to break into the show, but if you're a new listener, I wanted to say welcome, and I wanted to introduce you to the Big Photo Hunt. We're an online platform for amateur photographers to grow and come together. It's really cool, and it's arguably the world's most friendly photography community. It's really friendly. If you have a moment, come check us out at bigphotohunt.com. And now, back to the show.
I agree. For someone that is starting out, you mentioned manual mode. How do you recommend, or how would you suggest someone learns manual mode? Because it's easier for you and I to say, put it on manual mode, but then actually figuring it out is the next step.
Yeah. For me, it was a lot of just trying it. For me, I keep my camera on where it shows you on the screen exactly what the photo is going to look like. So I will try the different settings and just look at the camera and see what it looks like. And then I can try that photo. And then if I think maybe that's not the right settings for this, I'll switch it up and try something different. And then later, when I'm going through all the photos, I can kind of look, and you can look at like the metadata and see what your settings were, and kind of just go from there in figuring out, okay, so when I did this setting, it did this to the photo. And when I changed that setting, it changed this in the photo. There's definitely a lot of great resources online on YouTube. A lot of people that really explain how the camera works and what each of the settings does. So getting that and keeping it in your mind as best you can, and then just doing it. For me in particular, that was a big, just do it.
One of the biggest things is for just get out there and do it and practice. I agree with you 100%. And you could have all the skills you want, but then you got to get out there and like actually do it to really learn. It's the kind of craft where if you're not actually doing it, you're not going to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's important. So I'm just actually curious. Maybe this happens with all creative people or people that are interested in creative endeavors. There seems to be periods where like we get really into it, and there are periods where we're kind of not into it, right?
Yeah.
Where we're just kind of down. Do you have those periods? And I ask that because I was on YouTube and there was a photographer that I follow, and they were talking about how they're kind of in a lull and they're not really into photography. And I'm thinking, shit, if this person's not into photography right now, I'm in trouble when I'm not into photography, because I thought they were always into photography. Does it happen to you? And what's it like? And how do you get out of it?
Yeah.
I actually, wait, let me preface that by saying, I'm pretty sure it happens to you because it happens to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it does happen, what do you do to get out of it?
Yes, that definitely does happen. I think for me, a big thing is to allow myself to take breaks and
Great.
don't even think about photography. Don't even like put your camera away. Don't even like approach that idea and just do something else for a minute. For me, I like to do, you can see back here, a lot of painting and stuff. So I'll switch to something else creative, or I also have like 200 plants. So I'll go take care of some plants for a minute, or, all kinds of stuff. Just kind of give yourself a break, because it's mainly said in the idea of mental health, but I think it applies to a lot of things when they say like, there's no flower that blooms the entire year. So allow yourself to take breaks, and it's okay to put it down for a minute and then recharge, like recharge your creativity in that and your desire. And then after a while, you'll pick it back up again. And you will feel, for me at least, I feel refreshed after that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm back in this mindset and I have a million ideas for photos now. Yeah, it's good. I would definitely recommend taking breaks and just not even thinking about it.
When you come back and you have a million ideas, are they new ideas, and do you feel more creative?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I do. I just feel all over refreshed, and I feel more creative, and I feel just better.
I haven't really, well, actually, it's not true. I have some photos from the other day, but I haven't posted any photos in a long time. Partially because I'm too busy, but also because I just haven't been motivated. Partially, it's not that I haven't been motivated. I haven't been inspired by my city. And that happens here. I live in Boston, which is a beautiful city, but I know it so well. And so sometimes I'm just like, I just need a new city. I'm traveling in the next few months. I'm taking my camera. I'm going to London and Barcelona, and then I'm going to Seattle and Paris, all in like a 3-month period.
Wow.
And so I'm extremely excited, to bring my camera, but I'm really not shooting anything until then.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like I'm not in a lull. I just need a break.
For me, I've found that definitely happens for me, where Sacramento gets boring and I'm like, okay, I've shot everything here. There's nothing else here to shoot. But then I will take a friend with me, give them a camera, and what do they shoot? What do they see? What do they notice? What are these fresh eyes that have never looked at the city this way before? What do they see? And a lot of times that'll give me new perspectives on things and different ideas. It's very interesting to see what other people notice.
I have a friend, her name is Justine, and I actually met her because she was on this podcast, and she talks about something like that. I don't know if you heard that episode, but she talks about photo walks, just that, how you see the city through someone else's eyes and how it can inspire you.
I love taking other people out. I have friends that love to go out with me, and we always have a great time. And it's great to see what other people see when you're going out and what they notice.
Last, I think April, I was in Paris, and I took a bunch of photos, and then I showed them to my friend. I had some friends that lived there, and one of them responded. I forget what it was. It wasn't like, oh, wow, it was fascinating to see Paris through an American's eyes. But it was basically, I think the comment was something along the lines of, wow, it's fascinating to see it from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't looked at the city the way I looked at it. And I don't know if that's just because it's a different person or if it's because I am a foreigner. So I get it. Oh, I want to show you something. Real quick before I forget. Sacramento cows. I have a picture of cows. I want to show you the cows.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of those.
Oh, my gosh. There were so many cows. This was out in that Delta area. Nice. Oh, I wish you could. It's kind of overexposed. You can't really see it from here, but it's not overexposed, but the camera's not doing it justice. There was actually a barbed wire fence there. So even though the cow looks like it's right in front of me, it was, Yeah, there were a lot of cows. And so finally I was like, I'm looking for things to shoot. And like I mentioned, it was 6:30 in the morning and there were no people and there were just cows. And I was like, okay, I want to get a photo of something. I'm getting a picture of cows. And I did. And they were like, moo. And I was like, So it was good. It was really good.
Love it. Love it. That's great.
I have 3 questions that I ask everyone at the end of my episode. And it sounds like you've heard my podcast before, so you're prepared for these. Are you ready?
Yep.
Question number 1 is, what camera system do you use?
I am all in on Canon. I actually thought about switching that at one point. It was an off comment from the director at the school that there's an obvious difference between the companies that primarily and almost exclusively work on photography equipment versus the companies that do everything. So Sony does, TVs, and they do appliances, and they do everything. And they're not 100% focused on photography. Whereas Canon is 100% focused on photography. And there's a noticeable difference in the quality sometimes.
I know a lot of photographers feel that way, and I understand that. I still shoot Sony.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, they make great cameras. They really do.
I like it because I am a hybrid. I do both photos and videos, and it's so simple for that. It's just so easy to toggle back and forth. And I also love that I think because they do come from like a technology background, they do push the envelope in technology. And I'm just kind of a geek when it comes to that stuff. I love gadgets. And so I kind of don't want to wait around. Like I was a Canon shooter, and I was just basically waiting for Canon to go mirrorless before I had a DSLR, and Sony was out, and I'm like, I'm waiting for Canon. I'm waiting for Canon. I'm waiting for Canon. And finally I was just like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Sony. And so I'm happy I did. I mean, they're all great, right? But like,
oh yeah,
I understand the comment.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is, what's your favorite genre to shoot and why?
Favorite genre is street, with art being a very, very close second. And I just love to show the world through my perspective is what it is. I love to show how I see things.
Outstanding. Question number 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. How often do you get that burning itch to just get out there and shoot? And just to clarify, not to be confused with the burning itch. That's for a different podcast.
Yeah. No, for me, it's like a 9 or 10 out of 10 because I am always ready to go. Like it is just absolutely my favorite thing to do. I will always go out. Like if someone says, hey, you want to go out and do some photos? Yes. Immediately. Yes. Like there's no hesitation for me. I always want to.
And where can everybody find you? I know that they can find you on the Big Photo Hunt, but out in the world, where can they find you on social media, everything else?
My website is Mariah, MARIAH, ANN photo.com. And on all the social media, I am Mariah Ann Photog, PHOTOG.
I really appreciate your time. And I'm so glad we did this. I have truly been grateful to have you involved with the Big Photo Hunt. And I list you as like one of my OG because you're officially like one of the OG. Oh. And we're working hard to build the Big Photo Hunt. And as we get bigger and bigger, it's just really cool to know that someone was around from like month 1 is still here. And it's really nice to be able to spend this time with you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. It's been great.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Our next show will feature more valuable stories from our community members. If you'd like to audition to be a guest, please visit bigphotohunt.com for more information. Thanks again for listening today.